Probably one of the longest running projects that's been at Oldscooler. It's probably been here 7, 8 years. It came to me as a complete bare shell, just nothing whatsoever. It had been fully stripped, no running gear, no interior, nothing. It was just bare metal, not even doors on. So the customer wanted some mod cons on the outside and inside. The customer had an idea already. That was, he'd bought a donor car which was a 96, 97, maybe 98 Scorpio, one of the last Scorpios. It had the V6 engine in it, automatic gearbox, and he wanted to put all that running gear into this. It was then looking at taking the axles out of the Scorpio so that all the front subframe, front suspension, rear axle, rear subframe, all that just bolts straight up underneath into the van. And then getting the engine in was a bit tricky, just because we'd use the Scorpio axles. It meant that the engine and gearbox was quite far back. So we had to make a new bulkhead inside, which brought the engine back into the cab, left us with very little room to play with for pedals and steering, but we got there in the end. That was probably one of the trickier bits. We've got reverse camera running off the rear number plate, and we've got a wing mirror camera mounted on each wing at the front. We've kept the wing mirrors in there just because they're really nice looking mirrors when they're old 1960s, 1970s mirrors. We've managed to get electric windows. That's a lot of it using transit parts from the later, newer transit, so like Mark 7. Heated seats, the seats are from a Mark 7 transit. We've got an air suspension seat for the driver, and we've got air conditioning running through an aftermarket heater system. We've gone for an Emerald ECU because Emerald are really good with Ford stuff. They had an ECU ready to go with a wiring loom that we could buy off them. The turbo parts came from a guy who used to turbo a lot of these engines. So we haven't had to do a great deal in the engine. These engines will quite happily do 300 horsepower standard internals. You can change the pistons if you want to go any more. Potentially they'll do up to 500 horsepower. The only thing we did have to do that was a little bit tricky was fit an electric vacuum pump, because the automatic gearbox needs vacuum for changing gear, and the turbo motor obviously produces boost a lot of the time, especially on an auto gearbox. So we fitted that electric vacuum pump just to overcome that. We obviously refreshed the engine, new chains, new bearings in everything, new inlet manifold to take the boost pipes. Removable steering wheel, extra security, and then ignition on. Haltech IC7 dash, fully customisable, works through CAN system, talking to the ECU, so pretty much talk to any ECU or any vehicle with a CAN system. You've got warning lights for your indicators, that sort of thing. Full beam, it's up in the middle there, even your handbrake, your park switch. So this one, with it being so customisable and having those warnings in there for everything you need, indicators and full beam and all that sort of thing. As for the suspension, this is the handheld device that controls the air suspension. Press and hold it, it'll drop the suspension. We can also control each corner. Independently. So it'd be great if it was a camper van and you were sat on some sort of unlevel ground.